Who doesn't love Christmas sweaters?
Me. You can tell I'm hiding it. I bought this only. I will in a second. I bought this only because Sean and I ran a ugly sweater run, and I was forced to purchase this. If you've never been to the Dillards, thank you for smiling at me, Hannah. I'm just like, Dillards in Council Bluffs is like the garage sale of Dillards if you haven't ever been there. And so I went in, and this thing lit up. It lit up at one time.
I was gonna say, because that's not an ugly sweater to me. I would wear that on a regular day. That is an ugly sweater.
Welcome to the Jen and Millie
Holiday Edition
episode. Okay, before I forget, this book is awesome.
It's not a holiday edition.
No, after the fall, it's all about growth mindset. It's the story of how Humpty Dumpty got back up again. Life begins when you get back up. So I love it, and it's part of growth mindset. You know.
So good. So,
what's your favorite part of Christmas?
Why do you guys ask me questions first?
Because of this. We went back through the old Jen and Millie's and decided that we've lost our wit.
I know.
So we're very intentional about being funny today. Apologize.
It's probably gonna be forced. Yeah. My favorite part of Christmas. Is that what you said? My favorite part of this season? Well, I love the snow, but there's no snow, so it makes me so sad. But I love it because I know how much people love me. Because anytime anyone sees snowflakes, they send me pictures of them. So I have a friend who lives out in Gretna. She's sending me a video because it was starting to snow. No, Elkhorn. It was starting to snow. My parents in Minnesota got a little bit of snow dusting on the ground. They sent me a picture.
I saw someone Sunday morning out in.
You didn't send me a picture.
Sargent. Sorry. I didn't know you loved it so much. It was a beautiful way to see my first snow. It was out. We stayed at this place called Comstock Lodge. It's out in the middle of really top of the hill of the pasture, and they have guided hunting, elk and bighorn sheep and all kinds of cool stuff. And I woke up in the morning and I thought, it's so dark, but it seems light. And I looked out and I thought, that can't be snow, and it was.
It was.
It was beautiful.
Oh.
We might get some, I think, on Thursday.
I sure hope so. What's your favorite part? Are you distracted by my headband?
Maybe. It's very, very difficult to take. And the strobe lights might be causing me to have vision problems. My favorite part of the holiday season is probably I like the parties. I like my friends are back home. I get to go see Paxton. I get to see Aaron. I get to have Lauren and Sean with me to go see it's just like one big party for especially when it falls like this.
Yeah.
It's like one big party between now and my favorite holiday, which is New Year's Eve.
Of course your favorite holiday is
It's
New
my
Year's
very favorite
Eve.
holiday. New Year's Eve.
Oh my god.
So I look forward to the 2-week party.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So good.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me what your favorite Christmas present was growing up.
My favorite Christmas present growing up, when I was probably about 10 years old, Santa brought me a boombox. And it was a good one. It was a dual cassette boombox. It was silver and black. And I will never forget running up the stairs to see what Santa had brought on Christmas morning. And I was like, boombox! And I held it up over my head. I was so excited about it. It was my favorite gift. And my first cassette, after the purchase of that boombox, was Prince, Purple Rain. How about you?
My favorite gift growing up, Christmas gift. Well, so my birthday is the week after Christmas. So I always got these bigger gifts for Christmas because they would always say it was for your birthday and Christmas. And
How'd your siblings feel about that?
well, my brother's is the week before Christmas.
Oh, it is.
So it's just my sister. My brother's is yesterday.
When's
Hers is in June.
P.S. The piece on that she did for
Yeah.
Ralston.
Ralston Public Schools.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's my sister.
I know. It was so good. I was like, I know who
You
she
got all
is.
this out.
It was so good.
Mm-hmm. It was.
That is
My sister's
incredible work.
Yep. Can you tell what her strengths are?
I saw some learner. Does she have learner?
No, she does not. She's input in her top 5.
Communication.
No. Positivity.
Yes.
Developer.
Yes.
Or adaptability.
So sometimes when I think about one of my favorite speech therapists of all time, her name is Peg. Peg's developer was in that
Mhm.
role.
Mm-hmm.
And so
oh,
when I saw that video, I immediately thought of communication, but it's developer.
it's her
that
developer. Yep.
communication.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, not the communication strength, but the developer strength to say, I can help
Yep.
see this
In
bloom.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. So, yeah, she's awesome. So
that was
but-
that was a cool video.
It was a neat video. But my favorite Christmas gift growing up, I think it was like 4th, 5th, 6th grade, somewhere around there. I wanted my own desk space because we would have to all do homework together at the table, or on this little bench area that was my mom's desk that she did her stuff at. And so I wanted my own desk, and I wanted it to be in my own room where I could shut the door. And so I remember my dad and I, we went out to every store from like a small-ish town. So we don't have a big furniture store or anything like that, to try and find one that I wanted. And I wanted one that had filing cabinets, drawers, and wasn't just a desk but had stuff up here, like cubbies and stuff. And so we finally found a desk at Fleet Farm of all places. And it was like
Fleet Farm?
At Fleet Farm. Have you ever heard of Fleet Farm? Do they have Fleet Farms here?
Blaine's Farm and Fleet.
No, not Farm and Fleet.
Fleet Farm.
What's a Fleet Farm?
Fleet Farm, Mills Fleet Farm.
What is it?
It's like
Like an Orscheln's?
I don't know what that
it's
is.
like a combination. No, it's not
Wheeler's?
not like an Orscheln's. It's like a combination of like Home Depot and
Not a thrift store, but like
no, it's not a thrift store at all. So
Yeah.
they have like new clothing. God, is this just a Minnesota thing? They have a couple big ones in Iowa.
yeah, Blaine's Farm and Fleet.
Tell me what you
It's not
get
called
there.
Farm and Fleet.
Oh, there's a bunch of them that's a bunch of them in eastern Iowa.
Tell me what you get there besides the desk. Like what?
They had a little bit of furniture, but they have like all sorts of farming equipment. They have hunting stuff, fishing. So it's kind of like an outdoors store, but also kind of like a construction store. They have all sorts of stuff for animals, if you have animals. They also have lots of raw nuts, like that you would consume, like eat.
It's like if
They
you
have
mixed a
some
Costco and a Tractor Supply.
That's a good. This is a long.
Those of you watching, I would like to take a personal survey, and I'd like you to reply to my email with I know what a Fleet Farm is, because
Mills
I just want to get a gauge. Just want to know. I am going to jot it down. I'm going to look it up.
So I don't think there's one in Omaha, and I don't know if there are any in Nebraska, but there's lots in Minnesota. And there's
I
lots
thought
in
you
Iowa.
said earlier flea farm, like a flea market, and I was like, okay, that makes sense. And then I was like,
No,
they have
Fleet
flea markets in the
Farm.
middle of winter in Minnesota?
No, Fleet Farm. Fleet
Okay.
Farm.
Fleet.
It's a chain store.
Got it.
Yes,
Okay.
anyway. So, but it's not a normal place you would find furniture,
Or a desk.
or the only kind of desk that I wanted. So this desk is still in my bedroom from childhood.
Is that-
in my home when I go home?
Aww.
And now it has a different computer and some bills and files and stuff like that. But anyway, so yeah.
What do you want the
that's
cubbies for?
'Cause I
What
have
in
lots
the
of
cubbies?
stuff.
Books or
books or little I contacts. I tend to collect little things from places or seasons of life. So I have all these little like
individualization.
yeah. So I have like little figurines from some, area of life, or like little mementos, or so I have just little things like that. So I
Are
wanted
they still there?
Yeah, yep.
Okay, next trip you gotta snap a picture.
Snap a picture of the desk. Okay. I'll be there Friday.
That'll be awesome. Send that to me. I want to be able to see what's up there.
They're welcome.
Cubbies. I love cubbies. So, did you get to pick out your own Christmas gift, essentially?
Yeah.
How did you feel about that?
My
you don't want to be
mom
surprised?
leads number one with discipline. And so she's not a surprise you kind of person. She's a tell me what you would like for Christmas, so I always know what to expect from my parents
Oh
for
man,
Christmas.
I love
And I always
surprises.
have growing up. I love surprises personally, but that's not how she's naturally wired. And I have come to learn to love that and honor that. And the times that I have tried to surprise her, it's gone sour sometimes. And so I know that there are some people where I won't tell them, you know, what I'm getting them for Christmas because it's super personal and super great. But I know that even if I think I have an awesome gift that is super personal that my mom would never buy for herself, it's going to be better for her if I ask her what she wants and just purchase that, which takes the fun out of it for me with high individualization. But I know that because of her strengths and how she's wired, that it will be more honoring to her to get her exactly what she requests than to try and find something that's super personal
So
and fun for her.
this is really strengths around gift giving.
Yep.
Is really easy to spot. If you're familiar with the 5 love languages, this is a great tie into that. If you haven't yet taken the 5 love language quiz, I'm going to send you the link. Great way to think about the way that we want to give gifts and receive gifts. So as you were saying that, I'm thinking, well, I remember when the kids were little and I caught them snooping, I was furious. Like, you do not ruin surprises. Like, that is against everything that holiday gifting is about. You do not ruin surprises. And when I'm thinking about, because their dad and Sean, consistency, discipline, analytical,
Yeah.
you do not surprise their dad. And he would always drop hints to me about what my gift was, and I was like, dude, I don't want to know.
I don't want to know.
Like, I don't want to know. And so once in a while, the kids will still do that. They're like, oh, Mom, I have the perfect idea for you. I'm like, give it to yourself. Give it to yourself. But I also implemented that same belief in when I was pregnant with them. I did not want to find out. Absolutely refused. I said, and if you are doing a ultrasound and you see something, keep it to yourself, because it's just like Christmas. I don't want to know until the moment. So neither of them did I know ahead of time. And I'm a big believer in you cannot get that kind of joy, that kind of surprise in life very often. So Christmas is one time. That should probably be my favorite thing about Christmas, or surprises.
Surprises
Yeah.
after the parties.
Yeah, parties and surprises
So surprise parties.
are my favorite thing in the world.
Aren't
Aren't they everyone's?
No, put 2 and 2 together. No, that's
What? Have you ever played that game, Who Knew? Who Knew is a really awesome game. And what you do is you have 5 cards, and then you have 5 cards, and Hannah has 5 cards, and 5 other people have 5 cards. And you're the Who's It. So we're all going around the room with a little packet, and the Who's It is test, so we have to decide what things will test love. So you've got these 5 cards, and you draw from a big stack, and it might be surprise parties, lists, snow,
God, it's like strength spotting.
It
in a
is,
game.
and then when so everybody knows it's Tess's turn. So Tess is a Who's It. You look at your second set of cards and you say, okay, what would Tess love? And then you put it in the envelope, the Who's It envelope, and then you pass it to Tess, and you put them in order, rated from 4, fourth place to number 1. It is the most awesome, fun game. We play it all the time. And surprise parties
is
is one
goal
that's on there.
ticket for
And
you.
anytime that Sean gets it, he's like,
I have the golden ticket.
because surprise parties are my favorite.
Your favorite.
It's probably pretty easy to spot. So when you think about gift giving, it should not be about you. It should be about the other person. And so I love that you pointed that out about your mom, because someone with high discipline does not love surprise parties.
And my dad is consistency and is happy.
Right.
So those are my parents. It's hard to be a child with individualization in that kind of oppressive environment.
So now it makes so much sense in the way that you gift. The way that you give gifts to others is so personal and
Well, the way
so
to do it.
thoughtful, and you like to do surprises.
Mhm.
Yeah, and that is
Adaptability
yes,
with individualization.
yes, and a little bit strategic thrown in there.
Yep. Oh yeah. Gotta be strategic about it all.
So as you ponder the holiday season, I would ask yourself to think, how do I gift? Do I gift in a way that honors that person's strengths, or do I gift in a way that honors my strengths? And then take a look at the love languages survey. It takes like 3 minutes. And you can really see ties to their 5 love languages, acts of service, quality time, words of affirmation, touch, and gifts. And so when you take a look at that, I think it'll really tie into the way that you you plan your holiday gift giving.
Yes. So good.
What a turn.
What a turn.
I looked back at the best of, I mean, I think Lauren suggested that we put together a blooper reel, and I'm like, I think the whole thing
We don't
is
have
like
blooper reels.
one big blooper reel. I said, but Hannah always captures this moment at the beginning, and so I was going back and I was looking at all the first, 40 seconds.
That's why your analytics are so off. Because you sit and you just watch the first 2 minutes.
I just did that today. Please don't do that to our viewers. Look at the whole thing. But I was looking back at the beginning, like the highlight, and I said, Tess, we have lost our wit.
Yeah.
Like we used to be pretty funny, and so when I look back at those highlight moments in the beginning, we've had a great year.
Yeah.
We had Justin walk in the door to
Oh,
deliver,
Justine.
Yes,
to deliver
the flower
flowers.
delivery.
We had
Your eye makeup issues.
the eye makeup issues, your eye makeup issues.
My eye makeup issues. Oh yeah. Lots of hair changes
Mhm.
in the last year.
Yes, this could be the year
so
of the
surprised.
transition of long hair to short hair. But when I looked back at those, it was fun to think about all the things that we've learned through doing Jen and Millie this past year.
Yeah. So what do you think you've learned the most about yourself from doing this? Yeah, I'm glad I got that question in before she did.
That I'm old. No, now
That's a
I mean,
cop-out answer.
No, it's not. That I am significantly older. Some days it's not a bad thing. Some days I feel like, oh, I'd love to be back in my 20s, and then sometimes I'm like, oh, I don't want to be back in my 20s. But I feel like sometimes I've really come a long way learning, but then I feel really old. But in good ways too, good and bad. Like I feel old, like all of my muscles hurt all the time. Not muscles, joints. Can't say muscles anymore if you're not working out. So my joints hurt just from
That does
living.
sound-
Just from living. Just from actual movement, I hurt. So there's pieces like that you kind of long for. Like I wish I could be young again and more spry and smart and agile. But then at the same time, everything that I've learned in 20 years to get to where I am today. I think I'm probably more aware now than ever that I have self-awareness and an okayness with who I am
That's good.
and where I am. How about you? What have you learned this year from Jen and Millie?
So much. Oh my goodness. I've learned I'm not as funny as I like to think I am.
You're pretty funny.
I don't know. I'm like
Another
regular
question we can ask the
conversation.
crowd. You can respond
No,
via email
please
just
don't.
to me and say, is Tess more funny or is Allison more funny? Or are you equally funny or not funny?
I don't like either of us. funny. We like to think we are.
I laugh.
I think I have really confirmed that I'm a verbal processor, which I go back and forth between like written processing and just my intellection that just kind of mulls things over all the time. But I need to physically get the words out for connections to be made in my brain. And that's something that's hard for me to admit because I don't always like to have those conversations. Like I would rather go to my journal and journal or just think about it by myself than actually have a conversation with another human being. Like it's hard.
So if you look around the room here, I'm a bit surprised that there isn't an actual track worn in the carpet because if you are part of Tess Learning, it's this. And she's on the phone and she's going back and forth and she's moving all around. I mean, like you have to, you are a kinesthetic,
Yeah,
physical learner.
I am.
And I don't think I saw that. Sorry. I don't think I saw that until we were doing our, like, what are we going to do with the next year with strengths learning? And we went back and forth with ideas, and you had to get up and move around the room.
It's
And
just
then
natural.
you were just woo, stuff crazy. And it was just like flowing out of your pores as long as you were moving around.
Yeah. Yeah, I am. And we even talked about that when after that Grief's Journey session
Mhm.
about gradient. And if you're an intuitive versus
Expressive. Right?
there's another I word. Intuitive versus instrumental.
Mhm.
Griever is that scale, and you're an intuitive, and I'm an instrumental.
Mhm.
But I did never tie, because the instrumental is I think, and I feel is intuitive, and they tied the thinking with moving,
Right.
and I never really thought about it like
Right.
that. I never really I was like, oh, well, I'm an instrumental learner, but just the thinking part of that.
So when you think about the way that you process information, typically we process either here or here or here, and then sometimes we have an area we get caught in, and something that heals us, something that brings us back.
Mm.
So for me, I'm expressive from here, or I think from here, I get caught up here, and movement heals me.
Mm.
So, but my movement doesn't involve any kind of expression.
Mm.
My movement is very, very silent. Like go for a hike, think
Yeah.
quietly. So when you think about that, where do you feel like you express from, or where do you think from? From here?
Yeah, and it's here in my gut.
And where do you get caught up?
I think I get caught up in my gut sometimes
Mhm.
because what my gut feeling is doesn't always match the logic in my head.
Mm-hmm. And I think movement heals you too,
Yeah,
because that's
but
how
in
you
different
process it.
ways.
Mhm.
Interesting. Okay, so maybe I'm learning about myself now, verbally processing about this.
Mhm.
But I think it was hard for me because when I look at my strengths, and I am introverted on the introverted extroverted scale, I like to think that I can do it all by myself, that I can process, that I can learn, that I can come to conclusions on my own. But sometimes I'm learning in the process of humility of saying I need a thinking partner
Mhm.
to help me process through that. And I think this has been something that I've really been so blessed by our conversations here, because I'm even having revelation as we're sitting here talking about
Mhm.
some of this stuff. Like, oh my goodness, I never thought about it that way. Even though I may have read about it for a long time, or may have had both of these ideas in my head, but the connections of them together haven't come until I've processed it out loud.
And I think we get to do a lot of that here.
Yeah.
Which has been awesome to share it
Yeah.
with the viewers.
So then that is kind of our final challenge for all of you, is to really think about something you've learned about yourself in this last year, a revelation you've had about your own self-discovery, and maybe any revelations or any discoveries you come across by listening to our Jen and Millie conversations. We would love to hear any testimonies or any words of something that you have maybe come away with in terms of watching these videos and doing the exercises that we've passed along. So we'd love to hear all of those insights that we
Yep.
shared with you today.
And we'll see you after the new year.
See you next year.